Chinmaya Mission, the philosophy, the teachings, they're all based on the Indian traditions which have come from thousands of years. The teachings of Chinmayananda really become very useful because they give you the basis, the values, the groundings, the community, the friends, the people. Having those foundational values is very important. And what's most impressive about Chinmaya Mission is that they actually start training very young kids right from the beginning.
Swami Chinmayananda ji first met me in 1986, and he said he wanted to come to my house. So he came to my house in 89 and 92, and that's the time he planted the idea, and he actually wrote a letter to one devotee, Mimi Robbins, that I will be building a center in Andover with elaborate plans. And this was in 92, and we built the center in 2003, and I found this letter from Swami Chinmayananda in 2009. So he already had a vision that there will be a center in Andover. By God's grace, on Varalakshmi Day in 1999, my neighbor, who was a real estate agent, called me and said there is a place on Main Street. It can only be sold to non-profit organization. And I went and took a look at it, and I didn't tell anybody. They wanted 550, and I bargained and brought it down to 500 and gave a deposit and closed the deal. And after that, I brought the then secretary, Vijay Kumar and Mala Umapti and Shashi, and showed them this property and the potential it had for building a great building here. And they all agreed. Soon we started raising money, and within no time we exceeded 1.5 to 2 million. And thanks to Deshji at that time, he was extremely generous, and so were others, pitching in 10,000, 25,000. Soon we had enough money, and then we found an architect, and we got various designs. Finally, we chose this current one, and we built this center in 2003. At that time, we had only limited amount of money, so we only built the first phase, which had only 3 classrooms, and children were sitting on the steps in every corner because the 3 classrooms were not enough. So one day, Deshji and Jayshriji, they came and they looked at it and they said, we should have a larger center. So at that time, he called me home and gave a very generous donation. And we also started raising money. So in 2008, we started building the complete structure. It took us about 2 years. And now, after that, we have this beautiful center. And in 1960s, Swami Chinmayananda came to Boston, and he actually came to Lawrence, the next town to Andover, and there was another devotee who was staying there, and he stayed there for a week, giving yajnas. And I think it was really meaningful for us to build a center so close to where he was in the 60s. We didn't have a vision like the Chinmaya Mission Center would grow so big and have so many members. So we were a small family, and the help started coming in from different directions. I think the main thing that happened was we had Hanumanji as our deity. That attracted a lot of people. And then we added few more deities. Then it became like a Chinmaya Maruti temple. And in 2008, we added altogether another 13 classrooms. So we have, if you take some of the storage rooms and everything, we have close to 15 or 16 classrooms. And we got the idea of building an auditorium. There was no auditorium in this area before that. So this is providing a space for various artists to perform, and it's also a source of income for us.
Welcome to Indian News. Our guest today is Dr. Dwarakanath, founder of Chinmaya Mission Boston. He was a physician at Lowell General Hospital and has done a lot of fundraising for the hospital as well, in addition to making Chinmaya Mission Boston a reality. On November 1st, he will be honored with a Legacy in Community Service Award. We are going to talk to him about his journey, what inspired him to build a great institution, Chinmaya Mission Boston, which today teaches over 600 students in Greater Boston area. Dr. Dwarakanath, welcome to our studio.
Thank you for taking time to talk to me
Absolutely.
about Chinmaya Mission, which is very dear to me.
Our goal is going to be very simple, to share with our readers
Yes.
and tell them who is Dr. Dwarakanath, what made him who he is today. And I think that let us start first with Chinmaya Mission Boston,
Yes.
because it is an incredible institution. And I remember from the very beginning how the foundation was laid of the institution. So how did you get involved with Chinmaya Mission, and what drove you to have such a big building and all the various programs?
It's very interesting. I met Swami Chinmayananda for the first time in 1986, and I was really impressed the way he talked to me. And after that, he said he was going to come to Boston, and he wanted to stay in my house. And I asked, why did he choose my house? And the organizer said, he wants to be in a doctor's house because he has some health issues. I said, okay. And he came and stayed in a house in 89. And that was an incredible experience. He was giving a talk at Beverly College. Following that, I got another letter that he wants to come again. And that was in 92. He came. So during the time, I was driving him around to MIT and Harvard. And somehow this question came, so what do you want to do? So I mentioned, I'd like to build a center, Chinmaya Mission Center in Boston. Then he said, okay. And I started describing, I want to have a meditation hall, elaborating the story about how the structure is going to be. So then I forgot about it. Then in 1999, Swami Chinmayananda, the current head of at that time, asked me what my plans were for Chinmaya Mission after my passing away. So he asked me, do you want it to end there, or do you want something to continue beyond? I said, no, I'd like it to continue. So he said, go out and just spend a few minutes thinking what you'd like to do. Then I came back to the room. It didn't take long. I said, I'd like to build a center which will be there for future generations, and a source for spiritual education, and as well for the adults, and as well as children who know more about our own culture from a spiritual standpoint and the values we inculcate in our children. So that was the reason behind starting the Chinmaya Mission.
So now Chinmaya Mission is a beautiful building. It has an auditorium. It has a wonderful kitchen and dining place, classrooms,
Yes.
where anybody can come and rent a place and do things
Yes.
they want to do. So tell us a little bit in more detail about how many students are there, what are the things Chinmaya Mission teaches.
So, because the focus of Chinmaya Mission is to bring the children, make them aware of Hinduism, the religion, and the spirituality. So, Balavihar is the main focus of Chinmaya Mission. Because Swamiji always said children are like little lamps to be lit and not vessels to be filled. So that was that kind of stayed in my mind, and it said, they're lamps to be lit. So bring light into the darkness.
So now tell us about how many kids are in your Balavihar program and how many centers are of Chinmaya Mission itself here in Boston.
Well, actually, in the world there are more than 350 centers of Chinmaya Mission. But in Boston area, the main center is in Andover.
Andover, sure. We all know that, yeah.
And there are two more satellite centers, one in Newton and the other one in Westboro. So, but in Newton there's again like 100 to 140 students, about 75 families, and same thing in Westboro. So, but Boston is the Andover Center is the main center.
Okay. And how many students are roughly there in families? Roughly an idea.
We have close to 150 families
in Andover.
In Andover, roughly we have about 600 to 700 children altogether. But in Andover, about 400 children, and quite a lot of adults, about 125 adults who come on Sunday.
And what are the things these kids learn at Chinmaya Mission in Balavihar?
They basically learn about the values of Hinduism. They learn about the various gods. It all depends which stage you are talking about. When they are very young, like 3 to 7, 8 years, they are told stories about Rama and Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, so that they get interested in stories of God. But as they go into 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, they talk more about what the God represents, why we do what we do. Light a lamp, breaking a coconut. What is the significance of that? So, and then when they come to high school, the whole thing changes. Then they actually go deep into reading Bhagavad Gita and the meaning of that and discussion. And these are all high school students with brilliant minds. And then they, after they finish the 12th grade, they graduate from Chinmaya Mission. And then they start their life. Some of them continue to pursue spirituality and form study groups in various areas in Boston, elsewhere.
Now, what you have learned yourself from the teachings of Chinmayananda, if you can talk about maybe one or two things which has really sunk in your mind and in your life.
See, Swami Chinmayananda, I remember, I'll give you two quotations from him, two quotations which I always refer to, in my mind. One of the things Swami Chinmayananda said is, we can, we must, and we will. So basically what he was trying to say, we can achieve what we want spiritually, materially, and we must put in our best efforts, and with good efforts and dedication, you will achieve the goal.
So now, in this context, I wanted to ask you, off the camera, we were talking about your favorite books.
Yes.
And you were telling us the book about Seagull.
Yes.
And that sounded very inspiring. So can you just summarize?
Jonathan Livingston's Seagull is a fantastic book which I advise people to read. Although the book is a small one, it's got depth in it. And basically here the seagull, through self-determination and perseverance, goes beyond the body and discovers the limitlessness of the mind and spirit.
Now let us switch gear to your professional life.
Sure.
Many of us know you as a founder of Chinmaya Mission, but you had your professional life at Global General Hospital. And not only you served there as a physician for many, many years, but also you played a key role in fundraising and doing some really landmark work at Global General. So tell us about your journey at Global General.
One of the most important things I did at Global General was to start pain clinics.
Mm-hmm.
There was no pain clinics in Merrimack Valley. I started the first pain clinic in Merrimack Valley, and 10 years later, there were a bunch of pain clinics. So to alleviate pain and suffering, I took it quite seriously. As a physician, if I can't do this right, then it's not just earning money. So alleviating pain and suffering gives you compassion and love and care for your patients.
I am told that you have played a really important role in doing some fundraising for the Global General. And tell us about that journey.
See, fundraising has always been my passion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I got it, but even during medical school days, if there was a function, if they had to raise funds, they would ask me to raise some money. Those days it used to be small amounts like 500 rupees or 1,000 rupees. But later on in life, I just worked on the talent of raising money. And my first big amount was almost $5 million, which I raised for Lowell General Hospital. Can I mention a name?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. But here, Dr. Dahad and Ashraf,
Ashraf Dahad, yeah, sure.
Shamim Dahad and Ashraf, they actually gave a big chunk of $3 million. And there were so many other people who gave varying amounts of money, starting from $1,000 to $25,000. Eventually, we raised close to $5 million. That was my biggest fundraising.
And you use the same skill for Chinmaya Mission as well, because Chinmaya Mission also is a...
Well, the only difference is Lowell General was a one-time fundraising.
Okay.
But Chinmaya Mission is an ongoing fundraising because we don't have any government grants. And the fee we collect does not meet our expenses.
Okay.
So I had to raise close to $300,000
every year.
Every year. And at the beginning of the fundraising event, I'm always doubtful, will I raise 300? Because the expectation is already there from everyone. Oh, last year you raised 290,000. So this year, hopefully you will raise the same, because we're going to depend on that
Sure.
for them. Yeah. And somehow or other, I reach people before the fundraising event and talk to them, especially the potential donors, and see what their commitment is.
So now, when we're talking about Chinmaya Mission Boston, and I know you are very much involved in all these type of things, but we have to mention your wife
Yes.
In this venture. So tell us how she has been part of this mission.
Shashi and I have been married for more than 50 years, and I've known her for more than 55 years. she's been a great inspiration for me and a fantastic soulmate. So she was not involved in the Chinmaya Mission in the beginning. So in 86, I was involved with Chinmaya Mission. In 89, Swamiji came home, as I said. But the second time when Swamiji came home, that was the time she got interested in Chinmaya Mission. I think Swami Chinmayananda, before leaving the house, he stayed in a house. He put his hand on her shoulder and gave her a sweet to her hand. And she said that was magical. And after that, she got all the videos. And those times it was all VHS.
Sure.
And she watched all the videos and started conducting Balavihar in our house. Started with our two children, Baya and Bharat. They were 7 and 9. And she said if there are only 2, they won't learn. So she got other children. Soon it became too big to be handled. Then Swami Chinmayananda said, no, if you want it to grow, you have to take it out of your house. And so they went to different places. Then it went to 75 children. Then afterwards, I said it has to grow further. That's when the idea of the center actually fructified. The construction started in 2003 for the first phase. In 2009, because of increased demand, the second phase was built. So currently we have an auditorium which seats about 370 people with wheelchair access and everything. Our main deity at Chinmaya Mission is Hanumanji. So that's why it's called Chinmaya Maruti Temple. So we also have other deities. So Tuesdays are very big days.
For Hanumanji.
So we do Hanuman Abhishek. And Sunday, Shashi conducts spiritual classes for adults and also for the teachers. And she has trained a lot of teachers. These teachers conduct various classes for children starting from pre-K up to 12th grade.
So now let us talk about your growing up in India.
Yeah, I come from a family of 7.
And where did you grow up in?
2 brothers and 4 sisters. And I grew up in Bangalore in India, but I was born in Chennai. While growing up in Bangalore, I was fortunate to go to a school run by some Europeans and Indians. It was called Home School. And surprisingly, Shashi also went to the same school with a sister. So I did not know her at that time.
Sure.
So that was that gave me foundation, good education, especially with English. And then I went to National College, which was a well-recognized college, and did well there. Then got into medical school in Bangalore Medical College. And then, then I became a doctor. Then I wanted to further my career. Then I had fascination of going to England because I wanted to work in certain well-known hospitals. So that happened. I managed to get a job in London, and I stayed there for about 7 years. Then went to Sweden for further training. And finally, I got a job at Harvard Medical School and Beth Israel Hospital. There I stayed for 6 years. And during that time, Shashi also got a job at Harvard Children's Hospital and Deaconess Hospital. Now, my son is a doctor. He's a pediatric surgeon. He also went to Beth Israel Hospital and Boston Children's Hospital. So, an interesting thing I thought I'd
So, when did you meet Shashi for the first time?
You can make a movie out of this.
I want to hear that.
This was a classic love story. So, I don't want to elaborate it too much. I met her when she was just 17, and I was in my early 20s. And she was a dancer. I saw her dancing, and I, I liked her. I think she also liked me. She. Then I said I'm very interested in dancing, although I was not interested in dancing.
Good move.
But she said, "Oh, in that case, you want to come and watch the dance?" Then I said, "Sure." So I went for a dance program, and after that, we went out and I expressed my love to her, and she reciprocated. And after that, we were meeting regularly.
And this was in Bangalore?
Bangalore, which was not well received by both the families, although we were of the same caste and subcaste. So then we used to meet secretly till one day time came for me to go to England. At that time, they decided that I should actually get engaged to Shashi formally, which I did. And the following year, when I came back for my sister's marriage, they also decided that I should get married.
Okay.
So that's how it happened.
Yeah.
So when I came to India from England, I didn't know I was getting married, but the plans were made.
Yeah.
So then she joined me in England, and you know the rest.
Sure. So now, before I let you go, a couple of other questions I wanted to ask you is, one is, can you talk about what really motivated you to do what you have done? What really motivates you?
Motivation is my love for people, my love to help others, and to make a difference in others' lives as well, and to make a difference in my own life.
Did you have any mentors who really prepared you for the life you have had? Sure.
When I was growing up, I got exposed to Swamiji's, and following that, I was exposed to Chinmaya Mission and various other Swamiji's, and they all played a role in giving me direction in my life.
What about your parents, if you can talk briefly about them?
My grandfather, I'll start with my grandfather. My father's father was a doctor. But my father could not get into medical school, although two of his brothers did. So he became a cloth merchant. And he was not set for business, so that didn't do well. So we went through some hardship, money-wise, that went on for about 3-4 years till my brother and I started earning when things settled down. Otherwise, I think we went through a stage where I can say we were quite poor, lower middle class.
What about if you today, if somebody comes and one of those Bal Bihar kids comes to you and say, look, now I really want to take my life very seriously, and you have seen life from the different aspects of your own experiences. What are the few advice you will give? So what will be your sum of the advice to them?
My advice to children would be, whatever you do, take it seriously. Whatever you do in life, in your studies, be like Jonathan Livingston's seagull and take it seriously, and let not obstacles obstruct your goal. So you should persevere and be determined and have faith in yourself to reach the goal. The biggest obstacle in life is losing faith, and don't do that, because have faith in yourself, have faith in reaching the goal. It's like Mother Ganges, comes from Himalayas, big various obstacles, rocks, big mountains. If it's big mountain, cannot jump, it goes over it. If it's small rocks, it goes over the rocks or around the rocks, eventually reaches the sea.
How do you look at success and failure?
Success and failure is bound to happen in life for everyone. Failure happens more often than success. But every failure is a stepping stone for success. We have to learn the lessons from failure and not give up and re-evaluate the situation and see if a similar situation occurred again, what would you do differently? And that's how we learn from failures. One should not just give up the goal because of one failure. There may be multiple failures before we reach the goal.
One last question before I let you go.
Yeah.
Since we are talking about Chinmaya Mission, it builds around the community. What does community really means to you?
Well, community is an extension of my family.
What is success for you?
See, one has to be basically happy to be successful. It's not the other way around, that if you're successful, you're going to be happy.
Then how do you get that happy? What is happiness?
See, happiness is being content with what you have. Is the starting point. But again, that you can build on it. But if you're not content to start with, you'll never be happy.
Now, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks,
I really enjoyed chatting with
Thanks
you.
for your hospitality, and I appreciate what you do.
Sure, thank you.
And I read your books,
Thank you.
and they're wonderful.
Thank you. And we'll see you on November 1st.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you.